like the best, I'll be like the best. My mindset was, if I repeat what the best athletes are doing, I'm going to be like the best athletes. And what happened to myself is I eventually got burned out because I was trying to do the law. I was trying to do A, B, C, D, and pretty soon that turned into X, Y, Z. It was a system of steps that I needed to complete, and I believed that if I completed those, I would get into pros. I would make it to college for baseball, which I did do, and then I would make it to the MLB and a professional athlete. Eventually saw that's not how it is. And unfortunately, many of us have the same mindset of completing A, B, C, D, all the way to X, Y, Z for Christ, for living a righteous life, for being sanctified. And that's in fact what Paul is dealing with in this letter. He's dealing with this group of people that is saying, they're challenging what he's saying. They're basically saying, listen, that's not enough. You have to do this. There's more you have to do. But what Paul is saying, because you have died with Christ, once you've died with Christ, we are raised from the dead. And our minds are not to be focused down here on the world. We're not to be focused on point A, point B, point C. We're to be focused on heaven. On thinking eternal. I've entitled this message, #ThinkEternal. Now, I look at this. Many of us right now, all of us watching this for school, are in school. And our focus right now is school. Whether we have a full-time job, whether we're in vocational ministry, whether we have a wife or kids or grandchildren, whatever it is, we do have a focus put on this class. Now, if our focus is because I'm paying for it, so I better get a good grade because I don't want to waste my money, or if my focus is I want to do well in this class so I can grow, so I can learn as a Christian, great opportunity at this institution, and I want to be able to apply it. We have a mindset that we need to drive, our driving force is getting a good grade, is learning, is doing all the readings, is applying what is actually being taught. That's our mindset. Other things can take the back burner on that, the back seat. I know for me, early mornings, focus is reading. Focus is spending time with the Lord and reading. Sleeping takes back burner. Breakfast takes back burner. My wife takes back burner. My focus right now is school in the morning. Getting my stuff done early. Many of you may be like that as well. Unfortunately, this driving force, whether it's school, like many of us may be, or maybe it's family. You're all about your family, or you're all about your friends. Or some of you, maybe even you're all about the party. You're all about the life of excitement. That's what drives you. Money is a driving force. Power is a driving force. Attention is a driving force. These are all things that are going to drive your life. Now, maybe money is a driving force because you're a great businessman, or you're a great father, and that is your driving force. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to be a great father, to have that great talent, to be skillful in those things. Now, it's what our point is, though, is to get our driving force and use it to prompt up heaven, to be focused on heaven. Now, the Pharisees were saying, don't do this, don't touch, don't taste, don't handle. They're saying don't do something because that's going to make you unrighteous. I'm not here to tell you don't do things. I'm not going to say that. What I'm here to tell you is do things for heaven. So as we have risen with Christ, so too should our focus. If you're a believer, that is, if you've died and you've been born again, you're a new creation. And if that's true, you should be raised with Christ. Colossians 2:6-7 says this: as you therefore have received Christ the Lord, so walk in him, rooted and built up in him and established in the faith, as you have been taught, abounding in it with thanksgiving. Now, if you are walking in him, if you're rooted in him, you're going to be dead to this world, which means you're going to die to these regulations. You're going to die to these strongholds that legalism has on you. You're no longer bound by rituals. You're no longer bound by doing what is the quote-unquote American thing, right? If you're dead to this world, your career is no longer your focus point. If you're dead to this world, school is no longer your focus. If you're dead to this world, your family is no longer the most important thing to you. If you're dead to this world, the most important thing to you is Jesus Christ. And everything else falls beneath him. Now, it's true that you can apply every step to Christ. We'll get to that. But you need to first recognize that if I'm to call myself a Christian, I say I love God, I'm devoted to God, he takes the pinnacle point. Nothing else does. Nothing can compete with God. And he doesn't want anything to compete with God. God is a jealous God. Step 2. You're going to be alive to heaven. So if you're dead to something, you're now going to be alive to it. And this means that you're no longer, you're placed on earth, but your mindset, your focus is no longer earth. You start seeing things through the eyes of heaven, through the lenses of heaven, how things are going to be, and how a moment here can spend an eternity there. How one person getting saved in an instant will change your eternity forever, just like your eternity was changed forever. Third point, we're not perfect now, but we will be perfect soon. Let's look back to verse 4. It says, when Christ, who is your life, appears, then you also will appear with him. When Christ comes back, you're going to come back with him. You're going to go to heaven, and you're going to be made perfect. No weeping, no crying, no sick, no heartache. Just fulfillment and perfection. Colossians 3:2 says, set your mind on things above, not on the things on the earth. If we are to truly live this out, there are 3 aspects of our lives where we need to rethink our focus. 1, what skill do I have that drives me? What is driving me? Is it the power? Is it the money? Is it the safety? What is driving me? What skill has God given me that is driving me? Is it that I'm a musician, I have great talent, and that's where my primary focus goes? Is it that I'm a great runner, and my focus is on running? Is that I'm a great professor, and I teach excellent, and the students are my life? Whatever it is, we need to identify it, because that is taking the place of God. 2, have a heavenly mindset. This means in all things. So this skill you have, this talent that God has given you, if you're a great teacher, it's because God has given it to you. If you're a great athlete, it's because God has given it to you. Now you use this talent that God has given to you to promote heaven, to promote him, to share the gospel. How are you going to do that? You're going to do all things unto the Lord, not working unto man, but unto God. Colossians 3:23. This means that every aspect of your life is going to be focused on heaven. Everything you do, you're going to want to use it to glorify heaven. Be the best professor you are out there. Share the gospel with your students. Be a living example of Christ. Be the best father who raise them up and train them up. Then we see that you love them and that you love Jesus. Give them that relationship. Show them what that relationship with Christ looks like. Last thing, encourage others to grow in their skills. And we're one body with many parts. Not all of us are called to be pastors. Not all of us are called to be evangelists, to be teachers, to be missionaries, to be prophets. But there are some called to be those. And then there are some called to be the tent makers, facilities, janitors, faithful servants, youth ministry servants, high school ministry servants, elementary ministry servants, worship leaders, bassists, sound booth, camera, audio, video. There's all of these different positions within the church body that need to be filled by faithful servants that are gifted in those areas. So if you may say, I'm just a businessman, all I know is business. Well, the church needs business support, needs financial guidance, needs someone with your thinking to help prosper and make sure that donated money is taken care of and that it's applied to the right organizations. You can be used. You can use that to glorify God. Someone that is a great craftsman, someone that's great with wood, great carpenter, who has a booming construction business, you can use that too to glorify the kingdom of God. Not only in your workplace, but how you speak of God, but by bringing it to the church and helping build up new facilities and using it on missions trips to grow churches and to provide shelter for those in distress. I'll close with this. Matthew Henry said it best. He said, our head is there, our home is there, our treasure is there, and we hope to be there forever. He, of course, is speaking on heaven. So if our head is there, our mind is focused there. It's where our home is. No doubt we have a longing for it. And our treasure is there. Let's hope to be there forever. If you haven't put your faith in Jesus Christ, I encourage you to do so this time. God bless you, and have a great day.